Right.
Okay.
All that plays and the people want to watch it because they look at that. Yeah.
Right there.
You, so you want to now you can even see your.
I know he was trying to show you a little shoe.
Shoes. I'm a shoe girl.
All right,
Let us know when you're ready.
We know what direction we're going. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one. So because
Yeah. We'll kind of start over again, and we'll retake.
I'm not sweating so much. So
2, 3.
All right, and I am Paula Kemp Williams. I am here with Gugu E. Michaels of AP Studios with LP on the Scene, Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, Gugu? Beard game.
Oh yeah, you got to throw the beers in there. You got to throw the beard in there. It was going well, P. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for having me on your show. Appreciate that. And we thank God for living, for being alive, for working, and doing what we love to do. Yes, ma'am.
Most awesome. Most awesome and absolutely true. Well, I've seen your resume, at least part of it. I won't say that I know everything, but you have a pretty substantial resume. You got a lot of stuff out there, and I want to talk about a couple of your credits.
Mm-hmm.
You can't list them all. You have a show, but we will talk about a couple of them, and the two suspects is part of your resume. What would you do? Private Targets, Sweeney, Dangerous Men, Best Served Couple, a host of music videos and tutorials for industry tips. So notice that you had a lot of self-help videos, if you will, out there. Tell us a little bit about those.
Okay, well, my YouTube channel, my tutorials is something that that I just started doing because on Instagram, shout out to my Instagram people. I love Instagram. They show love and they show support. And a lot of times, a lot of them DM me. A lot of other cinematographers, independent filmmakers, they DM me asking me similar questions. So instead of answering each individual all the time, I just decided, okay, what if I just do a tutorial? That way, whoever's watching it, the answer can go to each one of them at the same time. And it's been good. It's been real good. I'm loving that. So, and the response has been great. So I'm going to continue doing that because the more I do it, hell, I'm learning for myself too. So,
hey, absolutely. You help others and you're helping yourself at the same time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk a little bit about the man behind the camera. Where are you from, your family, a little bit about your background, and what brought you to this industry?
Okay, well, for those who doesn't know, I'm a Nigerian, Igbo to be exact. I'm an Igbo guy. Okay, and my family migrated here in the 60s and the 70s. So I was when we came over here, and I started rapping. Well, not rapping. I started producing in 1989. That's when I started making beats. And in 1992, when Dr. Dre came out with the Chronic album, I love what he was doing. So that inspired me to start my own record label, Red Room Records. Alongside with my two partners, Pierre Dawson, which we call him Shorty. Shout out to Pierre. I'm my man, Alfonso Ingram, which we call him Zero. What up, Zero? Stand up! So, I started rapping and rapping like around 96, because I was doing a lot of music videos for myself and for our artists. And when we bring directors, when they're directing the videos, and this was even before digital, this was like film, back in the film days. So now I was so intrigued by the cameras. So I started asking the directors and the cinematographers, hey, what's that like? What does that do? What is that? What does that lens do? That camera, what does that camera do? So basically, I just started asking a lot of questions. And from there, my love grew. And in 1998, I shot my first film. So
wow.
And that's it.
Long time in the industry. Well, this would not be the first time that you and I have been in a similar situation. We've interviewed before.
Yes, ma'am.
And so was really looking forward to this. And, the thing that I noticed most about your personality the previous time is that you were very laid back, very personable, very humble,
Thank you.
very humble person.
Thank you.
Just love your spirit.
Thank you.
Some people call it swag, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know what? And I just called it genuinely personable, which
Thank
is
you.
a good thing and sometimes rare,
Thank you.
nowadays. But you certainly have that, and so kind of brings us back to this. But then I have one question: as I was going through your work, and I've looked at your work in the past, but there was one question I've got to ask you. You were on this video, and you were talking about your video Vixen attraction. So my question to you is,
Wow. Yeah.
how's that going? Are you still on the wagon? Are you able to stay away from those video vixens, or what's going on with that?
Well, what it was no, but seriously, like I said, I used to rap. When I was young, when you're young, you're shallow, and all you see is just a woman's shape, and so I was surrounded because, I was a little popular, not to toot myself, but I was a little popular at the time, and a lot of beautiful women. I was surrounded by video women because, like I said, we did a lot of music videos for myself, for our artists. So I was surrounded by video vixen is what we call them. So, and I got used to. It's like if you didn't look like a video vixen, I wasn't going to talk to you. But and this is not to diss any of them, but in those time period, if you did hook up with one of them, you realize that that's not really too much. And again, that's not all of them. I'm speaking of the ones I came in contact with. That's not really too much there besides just the face and the booty and the whatever. So as time went on, now I'm a little older. My son is 21, about to be 22, so I'm a little older. And now, for me, personally speaking, a woman has to be able to bring more than just have pretty face, be behind or whatever, you know what I'm saying? What you trying to bring to the table? Where you trying to be in the next 5 years? What do you like? How do you see life? Are we compatible? Are we this and that? Are you a family man? Do you still like to go to the clubs? Because I don't do clubs anymore. So that's why I'm married right now. That was just a little phase of my, big booty moments. You know what I'm saying?
Well, good. I'm glad to know that you are still committed to looking past that shell. Because one thing about it, though, the shell absolutely will fade in time, and if there's nothing behind it, then you're stuck with whatever it is that you have at that moment.
Yes.
So moving on to a more serious note, one of the other things that I've noticed about you, we are friends on probably all of the social media outlets, and I've noticed that you're very passionate about the community.
Yes.
And, so am I. That's a shared passion. There's so many things, challenges that are facing our community, specifically meaning in the Black community, that we as a people can address. Right. What are some of the issues that you take to heart, or that you really have noticed that we could use a little work on?
Right. Well, there's a lot of them, and there's not enough time for me to go into detail. So let me put it this way. Last month, I went to jail for some tickets, nothing major, just some tickets. And in sitting in the time before they put you in, that was a Hispanic, a Latin guy, and he was telling.
Here's what I found on the web for in the stage of cinnamon timer for the. Have a look.
I'm sorry, that's my phone. Oh my God, that was